It's the Morning Banana Show with your host, the one and only. He's the banana eating, coffee drinking, Parisian living, Adam Josh.
And his co-host today, we have Desiree. Hello, everyone. Hello. This is, you remember Desiree, my long-suffering and long-time partner of almost 10 years now. We're here in Germany, hanging out, watching a beautiful overcast day. But welcome to the Morning Banana Show, number 163. And Desiree has made some coffee for me, and I've got a banana here. And yeah, so we got back from Paris yesterday, and I asked Desiree if she would be so kind as to join me on the Morning Banana Show to do a brief debrief for all the fans and all the people that we would send these videos to, as I normally do. Because we know what happened in Paris in our trip, but our close friends and family and people that care about us, you know, I like to send them these videos just to say, instead of me explaining the same thing to everyone, here's a video where I explained it. If you're interested, then watch the video, because that's what happened. Mm-hmm. And the story's not going to change. So, Desiree, if you'd like to say a few things about how we wound up in Paris and why we were even there in the first place, that would be fantastic.
Hello, everyone. Or everyone. We went to Paris because our older son told my father months ago that it's on his bucket list to go to the Eiffel Tower. And in order to go to the Eiffel Tower, it's convenient and makes sense to go to Paris.
Right.
So, upon hearing that, my dad immediately booked a trip to Paris for our older son, basically, in order to fulfill his bucket list wish.
Sounds good so far.
Right?
And from here to Paris is about a 6-hour bus ride.
Yeah, we decided to take the bus because the train was way more expensive.
You can fly as well, but it didn't really make sense.
Yeah, again, I think it was the price and even just availability. And we ended up taking the bus, and it was great. It was comfy. I booked the table on the way there. That was very spacious, and the kids could color and whatever.
She thought she booked the table on the way back as well, but that did not work out.
No, I think the system automatically put us in the back row, which worked out too. And yeah, so there we were on our way to Paris. Ooh la la.
Desiree has been to Paris before.
Mm-hmm.
I have not, and obviously Caden and Tyler has not.
Mm-hmm.
Caden and the boys have not, is what I was going to say. But yeah, the kids have not been to Paris. Her dad has been to Paris and many other places in the world. So it wasn't his first time.
Yeah, and my memories of Paris were, it's a lot of walking. I was exhausted.
Right.
And I never wanted to go back.
Right.
That was my memory from previously visiting the city.
Yeah, so, I mean, if we're going to tell the story about getting into Paris, there's no other nice way to say it. I don't really want to put the website that we're dealing with right now on blast. I don't want to call them out yet because we still are in the middle of sorting it out. But we used a very popular website. We did not. Her dad did, actually. Used a very popular website to book a rental apartment style apartment, right?
So that we could cook while we were there.
Right. And so we arrived and followed the instructions to get into the apartment and could not get into the apartment. So so there's the 5 of us in the lobby of a apartment at 10:30 at night in not the greatest area of Paris.
It was scary.
The one silver lining to me was the fellow tenants, the people who live in the building, taking pity on us and saying, like, you know, welcome to Paris. We're sorry. We hope it gets better for you.
And also, we weren't the first So every tenant of this building was like, "Oh no, not again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you have a good experience in Paris."
And we're telling this story intentionally for you guys so that these are some things that you can avoid. Like making sure you get the right seat on the bus on the way back is something that you could avoid as long as you just double check your tickets. Making sure that you have an actual place to stay when you go to Paris is something that you can double check just to make sure. Read the reviews if you're using these online apartment websites. And if you're wondering why do they even renting whole apartments, it's because we're 5 people. As you may or may not know, Desiree and I cook pretty much every meal. So there's some things when you have kids that you're five people that you kind of need to accommodate you. Like we need a kitchen wherever we go, and we've just decided we don't want to live in just hotel rooms with beds and whatnot. So beds and nothing else. I mean, even when we were in the Canopy in the Hilton Hotel in Toronto, I mean, we had a coffee machine. We had a couple other amenities. What are you looking for?
Nice.
Regardless, so. There was a point, how long would you wait until, you've called it and said, okay, this is not working?
Yeah, like we called the people
Yeah.
7 times.
We did all the due
Spoke to the
diligence.
superintendent.
Yeah.
We searched every conceivable space and wall for this
Right.
key box that was allegedly
This is a
there.
question of patience and tenacity, and how long would you have in your mind before you're like, okay, we're calling it, this is not working? Some people would wait hours, some people would wait 5 minutes, some people would give up and get anxious after, 5 minutes. Desiree and I did all the things that you should do. We, like what she was saying, we walked around the perimeter, we followed all the instructions, we thought maybe we read something wrong. We asked the locals, called the superintendent, started rifling down the list of names that we could call. And in the end, it was basically a cold shoulder, nobody answering, nobody taking accountability, nobody taking responsibility. And if we were to get into that apartment, we would have had to break in, which would make us criminals in Paris on our first night. So we decided at that point, we're just going to call it. And Desiree started calling around looking for other hotels. That was our first night. We found a nice hotel, affordable, in the area, within walking distance. When we woke up, we went to the Eiffel Tower. Right?
More or less. Yeah.
More or less. So, first impressions of Paris. When we pulled in on the bus station that we pulled in on was fairly grimy. And I'm not trying to make Paris seem like a bad place to visit, but the truth is, we were greeted by a family of rats crawling along the tires of the buses and the overwhelming stench of urine. So that is the truth. I was joking and I said ratatouille as they walked by.
Yeah.
Brave rats, by the way.
Very brave, very fat, very cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was filthy. And I believe that arriving by train is much more, like there's certain train stations in Paris that are just beautiful. Like you
Right.
arrive and you're wowed immediately. So the bus station is just a bus station.
Right.
And it was gross and it was uncomfortable. Like we didn't really want to set down our suitcases.
Yeah.
That's how nice it was. So
I mean, how many
Yeah.
places have you traveled in the world where you bring your luggage home and now you're looking at your luggage and you're like, I don't think we should put that down anywhere.
yeah.
This is the point we're at right now.
Yep.
So we went to the Eiffel Tower. I thought, I've been to Mount Rushmore and it was less impressive in person as it is in the movies. I thought similarly the Eiffel Tower was going to be a bit of a letdown, but it was not. It is actually better in person.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The Eiffel Tower is amazing in person, more so than ever watching it on any screen or seeing it in books. It is wild.
It's astounding.
You have to walk up the stairs to get the full effect, take the elevator, do all the things, go right up to the top. I got a coffee. I had a cup here. There it is. I had a latte or an espresso. I think it was a double espresso from the Eiffel Tower. I mean, if you can do all the things like that, the touristy things on the Eiffel Tower, I recommend it because it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Also, you can give those cups back and get $2, but we wanted to keep them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just walking up the stairs was cool. So you can walk up 2 levels, and then the third, all the way to the top, is only accessible by elevator. So we did that, and the view was
The-
stunning.
We were very fortunate that we got there at a point where the sun was going down. So, again, I don't know if you can plan it like that if you're going to do this trip, but we got all the views of the day, and then the sun went down, and we got all the views at night with all the lights on. And we didn't intentionally plan it like that, I don't think, but it worked out that we got to see the Eiffel Tower and the city of Paris during the day and at night from the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's pretty cool. And then, I think after the Eiffel Tower, we started our vegan restaurant tour. Right?
It was the highlight
The highlight,
of the day, or the trip.
the vegan restaurants.
You know the Eiffel Tower because it's high up?
Mm.
I was just trying to be funny. Restaurants you were talking about? Maisie Cafe was one we went to.
Yeah, after the Eiffel Tower, it was the one where we had it was the sloppy burger, I think, and we were sitting right by the bathrooms.
Oh yeah,
It was
they had the
Falafel.
chikafte.
chikafte, and salad. You had a bowl of salad. Your dad had some beer, and
It was like an eggplant. It was like
An
a ratatouille,
eggplant
but
burger.
on an eggplant and piled and mounted. It was
Yeah.
delicious.
yeah. So, we gave them a nice review. The prices were a little pricey, but that's Paris, I think.
Well, it was right by the
Yeah.
Eiffel Tower, so.
Yeah, but to begin, I should say that we found so many vegan restaurants in Paris. And if they weren't vegan, they had vegan-friendly options. But we found just strictly vegan and gluten-free restaurants.
That first one was vegan and vegetarian.
Yeah,
They did have some dairy on
right.
their menu.
It was like something veggie, VEGE. The restaurant was like veg something or that veg. But,
I don't remember.
it was okay. Another thing I should say about Paris is, I would say many of the people living in Paris, get around by subway. The subway system, or the train car, whatever you want to call it, I'm not sure. Train car, underground, bus system. They have a combination of everything. They have trains on actual train wheels. They have street cars on rubber wheels, but it's all going underground. I don't know if you would call it the metro or not, but most Parisians seem to get around town on these things. They're very punctual normally.
It's like the TTC in Toronto.
And there's a lot of them. And if you're trying to get around during any busy time of the day or during the tourist season, I would say that you're going to be crammed up, like person to person, like squished. Like, it's very busy. And again, the smells down there in the subway system are otherworldly. In total, I saw maybe 10 or 20 homeless people during my trip, but it wasn't anything that I'm not used to coming from Niagara. But I'll be honest, when we were trying to get from one connection to another, there was a point where I was joking and saying, I kind of feel like a rat in a maze right now, because the tunnel system and the subway system that were dug out are, there's one level and then another level going this way. And then you have another level somehow going across on an angle the other way. And it's like levels of subways that you're crawling around, going through one staircase. Some have escalators, some have elevators, some have stairs. And it's a lot. It's a lot to try to navigate and follow the signs to your connecting train. So, what else can I tell you?
Okay. Moment, ich komme. Ja, ich habe Auto schon rausgefahren. Okay. I have to go.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Have fun.
I'll be here.
Bye.
You can take your phone. Yeah. Say goodbye to Desiree, everyone. She's gonna go take her mom to the chiropractor.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us. Just you and me now. All right.
Lucky people.
Lucky people.
There's another bun there.
Oh, thank you. Take care.
Okay.
I love you. So, the TTC, or the Parisian version of the TTC, is wild. It would take some getting used to, and if you're the type of person who gets uncomfortable in social situations or being pressed up against somebody else's butt, you're not gonna like it. On our second day, staying in the same hotel, we woke up and went to Chateau Versailles, which is in Versailles. Used to be some. Oh, hi.
Tyler wants one chocolate thing when you're done.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you. Some royal family members' chateau. It's huge, it's wild, it's symmetrical, giant castle. We took a train golf cart tour of the whole, well, some of the grounds of it. Another thing that I noticed while traveling around Paris was the stolen monuments from Egypt. And apparently I only saw the tip of the iceberg because they have stolen stuff from various military campaigns and Emperor Napoleon's military career of going around the world and taking things for himself. I don't know. To me, it's just weird. In 2023, to look at a giant Egyptian monument while you're standing in France and you're looking at it and you're like, so that's stolen. Obviously. They're not even hiding that it's stolen. It's clearly Egyptian. And Egypt isn't that far away. And, I mean, they could just go give it back now that Napoleon and all the armies that stole it in the first place are dead, and it's not going to make a difference one way or the other. I thought it was kind of silly to have, tourist monument come see all the stolen stuff that we stole from other countries, which you can also go and visit. It just seems kind of weird, but I mean, that's the history of the world, right? The history of the world is a history of war, land grabbing, bloodlust, bloodshed. That's the history of the world, my friends, unfortunately, on the dark side of it. So, let's have some oranges while we're still chatting. So we made do, and because the hotel that we were staying at now was a little bit more affordable but did not have a kitchen, we wound up having to eat out quite a bit more than we had planned. I don't care about eating out or not eating out. The struggle is to find a vegan restaurant that I want to eat at and that we can bring the kids to. So we found some really, really good restaurants. I left some reviews for some. If you want to follow my X account at adamjosh.com, you'll see the reviews that I left. I shared them on the X platform. But yeah, pardon me. We had a life-changing meal on our last night in Paris. I finally had a good petit cafe, or a good espresso. I had a lot of espresso in Paris, and a lot of it wasn't that great. And the last one I had at this vegan restaurant I went to, called De Bulls by Bulls to Anton. In a very weird part of Paris that it wasn't a great area of Paris, but the restaurant was amazing. They did a jackfruit burger, a flawless chicken burger, and the last time I had a chicken burger that tastes anything like that, it was a chicken burger from McDonald's. That's how long ago I had a real chicken burger. It would have been 11 years ago or something, but like my first bite, I was looking at Tyler and I'm like, Tyler, this is exactly what a McDonald's chicken burger tasted like the last time I tried a McDonald's chicken burger. So, and then they did a hot dog, which is the best hot dog I've ever had outside of my own house. They did a goddess bowl for Desiree in the style of Lettuce Love's Goddess Bowl. Lettuce Love is a restaurant that used to be run by Kelly Childs in Burlington. But this restaurant, the last one that I was at, Bowls de Anton, 11 out of 10. You have to go there. If you're in Paris, find this place, tell them Adam sent you. Not that they'll care who Adam is, but amazing, amazing place. And obviously to combat the rats in the town that come out at night, you have two options. You can fumigate, you can put poison down, or have cats. So this restaurant had 2 cats just walking around on the ground, and it was wild and bizarre and different and neat, and I loved it. I don't personally want to own cats, but it was nice, and I understand why they were doing it. The same day that we went, I think it was the same day that we went to Le Chateau Versailles. I think it was the same day, but the next day we went to the Arc de Triomphe and along the Champs-Élysées, the big shopping center. The Arc de Triomphe is huge in person. We didn't go up to the top of it, but I recommend that you do. Especially if you don't go to the Eiffel Tower, because you need to see the views. The city is laid out very intentionally, and whenever they were building it, they really had this vision of this is how the city is going to look. Nowadays, I can't even fathom a city or municipality or a region building that much of a city out intentionally before anybody would even be living in it. It's very bizarre. Architecture is wild to see in person. This stuff, like at the Arc de Triomphe, the circular driveway that goes, or the circular roundabout that goes around the Arc de Triomphe, is total chaos. And I've seen some roundabouts in my life, but that took the cake so far. So we saw the Arc de Triomphe. We were walking around Paris a lot last couple days, just checking everything out that we could. I saw Notre Dame. Last time I saw Notre Dame, it was burned down, and Michelle Obama was there on the Seine River, cheersing with her little necklace that looked like it said burning, but actually said becoming in cursive, and she was sipping white wine on a yacht while, looking at the Notre Dame burning. That's the last time I heard of Notre Dame, but they're still trying to reconstruct it because the whole freaking thing, including all the lead-filled stained glass windows, burned down. So all the wood parts that could burn, burned, and then the lead-infused stained glass was dripping out over everything. So it's a giant cleanup, and then they have to redo the stained glass windows. And there's a cathedral in Cologne, that has giant cathedrals in Germany, giant cathedral windows in Germany here. So they're going to take some of the engineering skills from these guys, and I guess the two churches are helping each other. So yeah, some people, we were talking to some locals there, were coming, not locals, but we were talking to some tourists while we were there. Some were coming in on a day trip to go, shopping in Paris and then leave. I can't imagine doing a day trip to Paris or one night in Paris, pun intended. I can't imagine that. We spent about 4 or 5 days there, and I feel like that wasn't enough. You could go into the Chateau Versailles and they have little couches there that you can just look at the wall-to-wall artwork. You could spend hours and hours and hours and days even just mesmerized by the artwork, mostly by Horace Vernet. And this Horace Vernet guy was a prolific artist, a totally talented individual artist. Mad respect to that guy. And we did not have enough time in the Chateau de Versailles, and I'm not sure how much time you would need. Maybe like, honestly, if you took an entire week just to look at the Chateau Versailles, I think that would be enough. So we didn't have that much time. So it's a lot to see, a lot to take in, and so I have, my adopted dad went to Paris a little while ago, and they took Ubers everywhere. They didn't do the streetcar experience and the underground subway experience like I did. So again, if you can admit that being squished like sardines in a metal tube is not for you, then I don't recommend taking the public transportation or the metro. Although it's very well organized, and if you miss one train, another one's going to come right behind it. So it's good in the sense that it's organized. They have a well-oiled infrastructure system that has very few hiccups. But on the flip side of that, there's a lot of people running through there, so it's very dirty usually, and the smells are just kind of, if you're scent sensitive, forget about it. Another thing I'm going to tell you about is the three-quarter jackets. I found that all Parisians decided that they're all going to wear three-quarter trench coats together. Very bizarre, but basically every fifth person had a three-quarter trench coat on, whether it's black or dark gray or brown. But they all decided this is the coat of Paris. I think it's practical too, because if you're sitting down on public transportation, the three-quarter jacket is going to cover your butt. So at the end of the day, you take your three-quarter jacket off and you hang it up and you say, that's my travel coat. Because when you're sitting on these public transportations and touching everything, I'm thinking to myself, during the pandemic, how exactly was this happening? Because we're all like sausages squished into a pod here. Like, how exactly could this have happened? I really don't envy anybody trying to take the public transportation in Paris during the pandemic. They said we would never travel again. They said if we didn't let them inject us with whatever God knows what was in the injections, we'd never travel again. They said if we didn't get their big pharma travel certificates or apps, that we would never travel again. And it was difficult. There were challenges. But the four of us lived through it all defiantly as dirty, unjabbed vegan hippies. And look at us now. That's been the Morning Banana Show. Next up, I'll probably go see Portugal. I'm thinking about going to Mexico again with the kids, but we'll see. But Portugal is on the radar of things to do. I want to see Berlin, and so we have some other trips planned. Obviously, during the holidays, we'll be with Desiree's family. The kids can be with their grandparents. And follow me on X if you feel like some more up-to-date information. Thank you for following me. If you feel like supporting me, you can pre-order my book that I've finished and I'm working on getting published right now. You can pre-order it at adamjosh.com/shop. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.